What's up, everybody? This is Heero Uzuki with part 1 of my Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Let's Play. If this is your first time watching this from my channel, welcome. If you're watching this after my MGS2 Let's Play, welcome back. I might play these two at some point. I probably should. You know, just for the sake of covering Metal Gear, but, yeah. MGS3, I'm sorry, but having played just about every MGS game in the series, minus Metal Gear Survive, that is not Metal Gear, I personally believe that MGS3 is the best. MGS5, a very, very close second.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Sorry, no one's talking right now, so I have nothing to say. Other than I have nothing to say.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
Russia.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good.
Those are
Got high
words.
visibility.
Smoking a fat one for the mission.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior
Dude.
connector. Put on your mask.
Do what I want.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
More than you know what you're doing, that's for sure.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
You know, it would have been super offensive if it turned out I was deaf. I mean, I'm not, but, you know, you'd be the one who looks like an ass. There. Happy.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
I liked how the mask actually has Metal Gear Solid on the top. You don't see it very long.
Sunrise.
It's really great. It's a small detail I love it.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2
Chilly.
minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Shame I didn't pack warmer for this.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
No promises.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10
First,
seconds
baby.
to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
Where I'm going, we don't need guns. Blood, sweat, guts. And a news. So good.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox
Who came
unit
up with
depends
that
on it.
name?
If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
For religious nut
Don't
jobs.
get cocky, this isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist
1962.
requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
Or, well, you go by today.
His name is Nikolai Stepanovich
2019.
Sokolov.
God awful year that was.
He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
Who
On
was
April
to go to
12th,
space?
1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
They spoke to him in his
Afraid.
sleep.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The
I'm sure you
security on the
brag
eastern
about it
side
every
was still
Sunday.
full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent.
Assuming you
It was
can
only
understand
a
him.
week later that we had something much
I said it
bigger
because
on
I
our
don't
hands.
understand Russian.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba.
Must have been a hell of a lot more scary than anything planned for
President
Halloween that
demanded
year.
the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba.
Just in
So
time
the
for
world
Halloween.
avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians.
But they're still
The Turkey
nukes.
deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
They wanted Twiggy.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war.
Did you
In the
consider
end, we had
asking
no
a magic
choice.
8-ball?
President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand.
I'm gonna take that as
The
a
next
no.
day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
You don't
So
say.
what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved in
Not a
there
place to
just
go on a
recently.
date, though, I'm certain.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility.
Don't say that.
This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Our first and only chance, you mean? Back to the port. Presents. Freefall.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
I'll try.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis.
You mean we weren't
The
already?
clock is ticking.
I mean, back when missile crisis was a thing.
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system.
Fun with balloons.
I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it
It's a
easy.
shame we don't get to play with
Been
those
combat
balloons
proof.
until, Peace Walker.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
Unless he hasn't been gorging himself.
She's
he should be
equipped
fine.
with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll
Don't
be eating
jinx
dinner,
it.
breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Ow. I need that. A big time jump. Nailed it. Well, as nice as it was to wear this helmet, it's time to deep six it. Nothing but dead weight now. All the rest of this crap. Shut. You know, this is just a minor nitpick, but yeah, if there was somebody around, they would have already seen us while we were dropping or shoving all
Do you
that
copy?
crap off.
You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in.
Then why are you
From
talking
here on
to
out,
me?
we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on.
Who came
You're
up with
not
that
to
name?
mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about
You're
you,
jinxing
Major?
me.
What should I call you?
Don't do that.
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Why do you get
This
a normal
will be
sounding
a
name?
sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes.
I thought you were just
I
being a
suppose calling
pervert.
me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha.
What's wrong with now?
Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Yeah. Amazing how
I
that
see.
happened.
Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My
Kinda
frequency
late for
is
that.
140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
I have to. I believe that's where I keep my toilet paper. How am I supposed to go and do my business? Trying to remember if there's an item back here that I can grab. Don't eat these at home, kids.
Disgusting.
I'd imagine so. Having a free roaming camera is great. One that I can control on a whim. Yeah. Okay, after this and after the codec call, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Forgot to push the action button. Why do I keep thinking I'm just gonna hang by... You know what, never mind. Mosh mosh!
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
How do you know that? How are you
To
seeing
equip
this?
a weapon,
This
it's
is
necessary to
1964.
take
I don't
it out
have
of
any
your
nano
backpack.
machines.
In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission.
I
After
actually
you've
have
been
a
out
place
in the
to
field for a
stash
while,
all my
your
crap.
stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna.
Yeah, I
You
just
can
have a
use
bit of
either your
flora that didn't
tranquilizer
taste all
gun or
that
your
great.
knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been
hush,
fitted
I'm
with its
getting
own
hungry now.
suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches
Well,
zero,
no
the
more
noise
suppressors with
suppression effect will
unlimited
be gone.
durability.
So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's
Don't test
durability
me.
is shown
It
in the
might
icon.
just get trigger happy.
Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
It sounds like you want to get me
Covert
killed.
actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a
Who's
violation
gonna
of
come out here
international
looking for
conventions of
one
warfare.
man's shit?
There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. There'll be no rescue
Ghost
if you're
Snake.
captured. The military and U.S. government will
bad.
deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose.
Look, you're either
SAS
dead
guidelines
or you're
stipulate
not
that
dead. There's no
soldiers on
fake
covert
death.
ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one.
I knew there
Be
was something
careful.
wrong with that
If you remain
dentist.
in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to
He
bring you
kept
back.
saying, "Don't
Remember
worry,
that.
I'm a doctor."
I'll keep it in mind.
Whack.
You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
Well, we're all screwed
Real
then.
one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Oh gee, I'm feeling all warm and
I'll
fuzzy.
introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition,
How?
acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship.
Then
with you.
how is she supposed to monitor me?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't
You
you
gonna
going to
come
tell
down
me your
here?
real name?
Are you going
And
to
help
tell
me?
me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Want to
Very
get hitched?
funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is
Regardless of how the mission goes.
145.73.
Got it.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Oh joy.
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Anything
Jack,
else you want
is
to
that
brag
you?
about?
How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
Mommy?
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Holy shit.
Of
that's
course I
amazing.
can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
You always say that when you
But
leave.
there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
How to bake a
No.
cake.
I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I
Or how to
taught you
fry
all
an
I
egg.
could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the
Well, I
only
could never
thing
be
you
a
can
soldier
learn
then.
from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing.
Are they?
I can't teach you how
Are
to
they
think.
really?
You'll just have to
No,
figure it
seriously,
out
are
for
they?
yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face
Tales
on the
of serious
battlefield.
characters have committed
And politics
a lot
are
of
a
sins.
living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But
Why?
you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career
So I'm a
soldier.
tool?
Right and wrong have no place
Wow.
in his mission.
That's-
He has no enemies and no friends.
That cuts deep.
Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do
Forever
whatever I
alone?
have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the
What's the
Orient,
difference?
loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
Except I'm not ready to die
President
for
and the
them.
top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times.
So the times
As
are our
long as
greatest
we
enemy.
have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
So my life
The
is a
only thing we
lie.
can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
I guess.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
I missed you, Mommy.
same here.
Please don't leave
After
me
all,
again.
who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets
Beating
for the past
someone up
few
with my
years.
fists.
I'm probably pretty
Yes.
rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember.
Teach me
After all,
things.
this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
That's pretty
My
far
frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov.
away. I believe we've been over that.
Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
I am aware. I don't want to be a bullet-ridden corpse.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Knife. Check. Tranquilizer. Check. No actual handgun yet.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Okay, so now that all of that's out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and stop, save actual gameplay for the next part. So, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, which was full of mostly nothing but cutscene and dialogue, then consider hitting that like button, subscribe button, leaving a comment, telling people about this channel, and hitting that bell to stay updated with more videos from me. And above all else, do take care of yourselves during this time. With that, this is Heero Uzuki, signing off.